Prince Edward is the youngest son of the late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, and the younger sibling of King Charles III. Born on March 10, 1964, Edward Anthony Richard Lewis was recently granted the title of Duke of Edinburgh, previously held by his late father. He is currently 13th in line of succession to the throne after his brothers, nephews, and nieces. Edward is a working member of the royal family. He has been married to Sophie Rees-Jones, Duchess of Edinburgh, since 1999, and they have two children, Lady Louise Mountbatten-Windsor and James Mountbatten-Windsor, Earl of Wessex. In public duties, the king is not usually prominent, but he has always been regarded as hardworking and devoted to the monarchy. He continues the work begun by his father as part of the Duke of Edinburgh's reward program, which aims to help young people develop key life skills and build their confidence. As a teenager, Edward attended the same school as Charles and received his A-levels diploma in Gordonstoun in Scotland. He later taught for a time at Wanganui College School in New Zealand and graduated from Cambridge University with a Bachelor of Arts in History. He showed an interest in television and theater production, as he worked as an assistant for the Really Useful Theater Company. He was involved in amateur productions of such musicals as Phantom of the Opera, Starlight Express and Cats, and then formed his own company, Ardent Productions. But Edward was largely criticized for creating the company because he had no formal qualifications as a television producer, director, or researcher. Ardent Productions produced a documentary for ITV about Edward's great-uncle, Edward VIII, who abdicated the throne in 1938. Guardian journalist Andy Beckett wrote that the prince adopted some strange habits during the making of the documentary, including calling himself Edward Windsor on his Ardent business cards and signing documents and letters with a copy of the Duke of Windsor's signature. Edward left his company in 2002 to begin working full-time as a member of the royal family. At the time, the prince said, "It is quite clear that in this year, the year of the Golden Jubilee, we are required more than ever to support the Queen and help my family carry some of the growing responsibilities and burdens of the future." His love of entertainment and theaters continues to be reflected in his work. Among more than 70 charities and patrons, Edward is a patron of the National Youth Theatre. His philanthropic work focuses on the arts and athletics, which is related to the development of the Doe Awards. Edward met his wife Sophie in 1987, but at the time he was dating her girlfriend. They met again a few years later at a promo shoot for Prince Edward's summer charity fundraiser, when a connection developed between them. In 1993, a few months into their relationship, there was speculation in the British press about whether or not they would marry. Edward took the unusual step of asking newspaper editors to respect Sophie's privacy and denied any wedding plans. It wasn't until 1998 that Edward proposed to Sophie while they were vacationing in the Bahamas. Buckingham Palace announced their engagement on January 6, 1999, and 6 months later they were married in St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. On their wedding day, he received the title of Earl of Wessex with the additional title of Viscount Severn, which was later passed on to his son James when he was born in 2007. In 2001, Sophie had an ectopic pregnancy and had to be flown to the hospital. At King Edward VII Hospital, she underwent surgery to remove the fetus from her fallopian tube. After the incident, she said, "I'm very sad, but it wasn't meant to be. But there will be other chances." 2 years later she became pregnant with a daughter, Lady Louise, who was born prematurely on November 8, 2003. Although Edward is one of the most reserved monarchs, rarely controversial, he has been known to make rare remarks. In 2021, he was interviewed by CNN after his nephew, the Duke of Sussex, left the royal family with Meghan Markle. Edward described the situation as very sad. "Look, oddly enough, we've all been there before," he said. "We've all faced excessive intrusion and attention in our lives. And we've all dealt with it a little bit differently, and, look, we wish them all the best. It's a really tough decision. It's hard for everybody, but it's family for you.